welcome you all of you for Endeavour Regional Meet, and I will, talk about mobility, user experience. But let me borrow some words from Arundhati. When we were having tea in the mornings, she talked one story, nice story. So let me share one more story from my side, right? So there was a monkey and a traveler, old traveler. So the old traveler was passing by, and he saw a nice tree, and underlying he just took a nap. And during that time, one monkey came down, and that monkey took cap of that old man, and that old man did all the things, all the things, and but he could not get it. And finally, what happened? He did like this, and the same thing monkey did, and he got his cap back. And here is a twist in story. What happened? 2-3 days after, a young boy passed by from nearby the same place, and he also rested. And one young monkey came, and he took his hat. And that young boy also knew, oh, my grandfather told me also. So he did like this in first instant. And this young monkey, was like watching, and then he came down, and it says, I also had a grandpa slap. So that is what I am talking about. See, that is what I want to talk about. The moral of the story is, me and my brother are not the same. See, there are some resemblance of a web user experience, or you can say desktop or conventional user experience, versus mobile user experience. Yes, there are some commonalities are there, content and information architecture, and it's a very standard mechanism. If you see, that interest, or there's a bind of web or desktop conventional user experience. But in mobile user experience, as I was talking to Nidhi, a lot of people are talking about vulnerability and so many things, I was amazed sometimes, what is this all about, right? So it's nothing, but people have a lot of expectations, Somebody would like to have if I want to access my bank account from my mobile, is it secure? It's a kind of expectations, If somebody is talking about how about Android versus iPhone, people are using web services from iPhone for better than compared to Android. What is this all about? It's about the end user expectations, and that is driving mobile user experience crazy. And that is what I love, or probably rather than that is the most important thing what my team loves. I'll show some of the people over here, And yes, there are contextual, requirement or nuances. Some of the people says, yes, let me borrow one more word from Arundhati. He was talking about the angry word is very intuitive, right? And see, that is what I'm saying. See, earlier it was also intuitive. We were sharing some of the common experience of our defense work when I was in student at IIT Bombay. And I particularly believe there, all these nuances and intuitiveness, natural thing and all those things was there previously also. But to create a brand out of it, people have, come out with everything, right? So that is all about, the nuances is there. So as example, I was, when I bought my new Android phone, I was just seeing my, just give an example, message versus my contact. So how to delete a message? In Android, you can say the latest one is ICS4, right? So if you tap hold long, it will show your delete option. But if you want to delete the contact, what you will do? You need to open your contact, you need to do an extra menu, in an extra menu you will have an option called delete. So what I'm trying to say is there are so many people are talking about intuitive, our UI, let's example Windows, Rachel Heffman of Microsoft, she came up with the new terminology called NUI, Natural User Interface, right? See, everything is there, but it's ultimately is the user who's getting that, confused. Should I tap hold or should I go in extra menu, right? So that is what we talk about, So my whole idea is here to move from that logic to heart, Or probably some of the people a lot of people were asking about, how you do that, I want to ask you one question, why you want to do that? And that is the key important thing what I believe as a designer, as a creator, rather than I want to just jump into why I want to secure. Let me ask very open question. Why I need to secure? right? If I want to use certain kind of things, then I expect kind of security, right? So the why part is very, very important. And another most important thing, as per my experience, and I talk with so many people around the globe, and I figured it out, there are so many measurement tools. Everybody wants some or other way of monetization. If I do, can I get this? If I do, can I get this? If I go to this place, what I'll get, right? Everybody is looking into that. But how about getting some intangible value? That is what user experience provides you. And that is why the company like Facebook or Instagram or Spotify or Epicurus and all those people become great, over just a span of short period, And so why I'm telling, because we don't have, in mobility user experience, we don't have any tool to monetize the thing. We don't have any precise thing, okay, this person has this much, finger size and all. Why I'm saying this? Because we do R&D. There are a few bunch of crazy people, and we do constant R&D on lot of things going on in the world, right? So I think Akash was talking about in the morning about Angry Birds, and that's how this intuitive word came from Arundhati's mind, right? So that is what I am saying. See, you see the Epicurus. It's a content. And Angry Birds, when I was talking to one of the designer of Angry Birds, he told ki it's just a pure mathematics, but it allows only one thing to user, how to control. People like to control things by their own. And that is what Angry Birds' entire design philosophy is all about. And that was a great lesson when I was talking to him, and that is all about. Even if you see a lot of people talk about social networking, and if you see the Instagram or path, I am not sure how many people are aware, but if you see the one point of time we are saying or gung ho about 500 million users on Facebook. It will be a third country after China, India, and Facebook if it was a country, right? So what I'm trying to talk about. At the same time, people are losing certain kind of intangible, tangible relations, and that is also people are bringing into it, right? If you call, say, a Pranav Mistry sixth sense, or some gestures, right? So what I'm trying to say is we do a lot of research how the most important things we need to tackle is strategy or why part of it, why we want to bring certain aspect of it in particular, or m-commerce or health solutions or anything and everything, right? But that gives you a different thing, Just I will switch to another slide by saying this. One of the TED talk what I attended in Bangalore, and one of the users showed me a nice video, and he asked very interesting question. Dell, a lot of companies create, let's example, a lot of companies create computers, right? But why iPhone? Why Mac, right? Because they do it in a different way. I still remember when I'm a fan of Steve Jobs, nothing against with anybody else, but when he introduced iPod, he says ki in your pocket there is a 10,000 songs. He don't talk about, or he did not gung ho about the features. It has a this much hard disk, this much processor. I don't know how many people remember, but I remember only one thing: 10,000 songs in my pocket. I love it. That is all about. So that is what it's all about. So basically, what today is mobile user experience is providing a platform to create something called brand interface, because mobile it is a vital part of today's lifestyle, and that is the thing. Is that's how it's become very contextual. You wake up today also with the mobile's alarm, right? And you sleep also. Let me see what is the time. Right? There's so much of interaction you have nowadays, and that is why it is one of the important things is fluidity, or you can say another way, how contextual usability. It's not about just usability as conventional UX says, but it's all about contextual usability, or you can say fluidity. And I was when I was coming here, I was just thinking what we have gone so far, with help of so many people, but when we work from CDMA devices to BlackBerry to Android and iPhone. If you see today's world is all about distributed, distributed work, the kind of, some of the person just now was checking entire development here, but the office is in the United States, right? And some of the people says, I handle some of the, I handle versus this office to this office, this office. What I am trying to say, it's a very distributed environment. And the most important problem is how to take a decision, how to strategize the stuff. And that is one of the reason, the collaboration in design is very, very important. And we have found out recently very good tool that allows a seamless platform to everybody from end user to stakeholders, a business executive to a designer to put a design in a platform that allows a co-creation as well as the collaboration right there. I'll show you some of the demonstration. I have already arranged iPad and I'll show you some of the things. I'm sure it will be interesting to you. And another thing is, a lot of people ask, how do you tackle multi-device strategy, right? Android and something, right? So I mean, I have sometime, what you can say, gone through a lot of things, but I figured out one thing, it has to be your own branding. It has to be your own design style. Everybody is unique in this world, so your application should be, right? And that is what people talk about always, unquoted, my design is a killer design. It's nothing like a killer design, right? It's basically the kind of design language or design style you are adopting, right? And how to adopt? Absolutely, that depends on what kind of strategy you want to use or what is your why, right? And that is what I want to talk about. And another thing, because I always found a very simple thing, and it is not new. When I open my eyes in one blink, I can see Samir Kanwar, right? Why? I don't think so many things, backing going in my eye, there is some this muscles, that muscles. No, it's so simple. It's simple. If the quick of eye, I open and close, I can switch it off anything, right? That is what the expectations today is all about, right? That is what sixth sense is all about also. Do like this, you create a kind of matrix and you want to see what you want to see, right? So that is what is all about. Today's mobile, the platform gives that, what you can say, energy to think in a different way, to fulfill a user's business expectations, And yes, of course, there are native gestures and adaptive design. Because as I was mentioning about my experience in terms of Android, message versus contact delete, you just imagine so much of things around information. It's overwhelming information around there, right? So how can we adapt our design to this? It could be, we should have a same mobile, desktop website, same mobile, or you want to get, first mobile and then desktop. It is not like that. It is all about how you are adopting that design in that responsive environment. That is very, very important. These are one of the biggest lessons probably we have learned in last 1 year, And yes, and I am very fond of music and fond of games and a lot of things, So it has to be playful. People cherish the moments when they have a joy, And that is what mobile allows. That is what Angry Birds allowed, right? It allows you, I am telling you, me and my wife went to transform a movie a few months back. Just in our row, there was one guy, he was playing Angry Bird, in PVR cinema. And I was surprised, right? He paid almost 350 rupees to just came to there and he was playing Angry Birds. Can't you think like, but see, it's not about that. It's about, the engagement aspect of it. Because as I told you, what I learned from them, it's a control. Angry Birds provide end user a control to flock, to hit, or whatever, right? So that is all about, right? So that is very, very important, the elasticity. And that is what physics world come into mobility, and that is what actually we leverage. We don't think in a straightforward manner. We use the physics principles too. Elasticity has a yo-yo. It has its own charm. It has its own engagement, right? When you do like this, you don't think, when you're crossing the road, okay, somebody is there or not. You just play like this, right? That is all about, right? And if you see, at the same time, if you see Windows, people say a Metro UI, and so many people probably know it's all about signage, right? In our design school, we used to had one of the course called signage information, and we need to design. And by default, all the students, what we do in Bombay, either they do bus stop signage design, or if they do IIT Bombay campus signage design or hostel signage design. Very easy to do that, right? Because most difficult thing. Believe me, it's most difficult thing, right? So that is all about. And what they bring, if you have noticed any Windows mobile phone, what they have when you load it, it's like 3 dot comes in in center and 1 is coming slowly. What is this all about? It's all about kinetic story. It's about all that, right? I was other day around, I was talking to one of my colleague, I did, now Spider-Man is in India, I mean the movie. So, okay, yes, why did you ask? So, when I was coming to office, one of my opposite neighbor, his son, what is this all about? It's about story that impacts any age people, any kind of profession. That is one of the most important thing in mobile is something called story, the kinetic story. And we are getting better and better and better and better and better in terms of storytelling. And that is what we love about so far. And over a period of time, as I'm mentioning, we need to adapt, right? A new change. I can't be a young boy and I do same trick what my grandpa used to do. Correct? That's why my intention to tell stories is this. So we were also following the same world. We also do product strategy, user design, this. Nothing wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong. People are following, people are successful, and many websites are very, very successful just because of these principles. And we have also developed a very successful application using this methodology. But we understood over a period of time, and we have come up with new game. This is the new thing what we are doing it now. We are involving a co-creation agile methodology. We are involving a prototyping tool, a framework that allows our stakeholders, our end user, our business executive who are going to take decisions in this tool. I'll show you some of the demonstration. What I mean to say is, let's example everybody, okay, let me tell you this is what we are talking. We call it design strategy, And what we talk about, we focus on first is what is the core value of that business? What do you want to achieve, What do you want to give a gift, a surprise, right? That is all about, right? I was just playing around the Bad Piggies. Angry Birds, another version called Bad Piggies. You should play it. It is much more better version than Angry Birds, right? And this is how we can create a brand, because a lot of corporate organizations, they come and ask, can you do branding for our mobile user experience? And I said, certainly yes, because there is a shift from print to web, and it's more or less same. But because of so many distributed devices and the kind of resolutions, the kind of quality, you cannot follow the same old print to a new thing. Remember the story, what I said? Old man, and that, just I want to reiterate the objective of that story, right? And same thing, we also understand, we do a lot of R&D in terms of what competitor is doing, how people are bringing new nuances in their practices, The same thing, so all those things, yes, and of course technology, we always keep bugging Dwarak to, whenever we do conceptualization, and we keep him telling, you give me a solution, you give us the solution and all those things. And that is what we do, and we come up with something called storyboard. I'll show you some of the storyboard, and that allows, everybody to see, oh, this is what they are talking about. Okay, this is the concept we're talking about, and it's easy to take a decision. See, my idea is to strategize, but if you are divided in a lot of decisions, how will you do that? So this framework and the kind of methodology what we have developed that allows you to do that. And then we move to something called user interface, or people very well know about UI, right? User interface, so that is all about. And we talk always about iterative method of information architecture and visual design, that gives that appeal, I was talking to somebody in the morning, and he told, oh, it is very important because it's all about how it looks. But I would like to just reiterate of Steve Jobs' wording. He says it's not about how it looks; it's all about how it works. That is what user experience is all about. How it looks, yes, it's a part of how it works. That's the user interface I'm talking about. Okay, and we have our prototype and tool where we have our own library, where we use native gestures. So I don't have to worry about when I deploy the same thing in design in Android, it will use same gesture. If I'm designing certain things for iOS or iPhone, I can just drag and drop my library to it. It applies same thing. I'll show you in my demo. And yes, and after that, the most important thing is the war between designer and developer. Feasibility versus the logic versus heart, right? It's always a tough challenge to take, right? So what we do is, nowadays we also develop a kind of movie. Whatever we do in a prototype, we export in terms of either an HTML, a PDF file, or interactive prototype, where developer can see actually, okay, if I do this, it will happen. If I do this, this will happen. The entire user scenario, I am not writing any pages, right? It's an interactive prototype. So we are not just talking about end user interaction, because the developer who is going to put their brain and heart and code and everything to make it live, right? How about making their life easy? That's what we do, So that is all about, and that is what we are coming up, and we have seen a lot of good success in terms of implementation and the kind of lot of hassles we reduce on both the part of it, and let me show you some of the case studies. This is what we have done for one of the mobile platform, medical access platform, where it allows you to, it allows a doctor to schedule their appointment. It allows you to see medical records. It allows also to see a patient view, and we come up with, wireframes and all. We also, I was talking about a feedback loop. When we do a story itself, what we do is we create and publish our wireframe usability right there. It's not about when you complete and you see, okay, it is working properly or not. It is simple or good enough or not. What we are talking about, when we are developing our solutions, stories, itself we will give you that prototype access to end user as well as stakeholders. You see, you comment it, live comment. We can answer it live there. We are not waiting for some kind of thing. And not only that, our framework allows them to utilize on their devices. Let's example, if we have developed something for iPhone, they can see it on their desktop, as well as when they can scan it, they can retrieve that data, and they can see it on iPhone too. How about that? Because I am actually designing for iPhone. Then why you are giving me a decision based on what you see on desktop? Right? Because iPhone resolution, iPhone capability is different than my Mac or PC, right? This tool allows us to streamline a lot of things and expectations. So I was talking about expectation, that is all about. And yes, as a part of visual ergonomics, we say, right? It's visual ergonomics is nothing but, it's how your eye goes, how, let's example, if I see anything when I come into any room or anybody, so what I see, as in a person, I see, so I'll look into somebody's eyes, somebody's face, and then I'll look into that clothes and shoes and a lot of things. So how that visual, gazing is happening, how the flow is happening, that is all about nothing is a visual ergonomics. And that is what people always talk about in the outside world. That's called how it looks. That is all about. So we have that also, and we share through that. And yes, we have developed for them, we have developed web. We have developed iPad solutions. Can you help me out? We have developed Android solution for them. And I would like to show you demo, then I'll come back to the slides, and I'll tell you this is a real thing, what we got out from this methodology. I'll just show you for some of the things, what my team, we like. We like sketching. We are still creative. We still follow certain kind of old school thinking, because that release our whatever going in mind, and it allows us to focus in one direction. That is all creativity all about, right? I was talking to Arundhati ki everybody is creative, as for my knowledge, but it's all about where you want to put it, right? So that is all about. So we do a lot of sketching, and let me show you some of the, we do a lot of things. So I'll show you some of the that movie I was talking about. See, this is a story. TV connected. Oh. So this is not developed yet. We haven't write any code. This is just an example how it is going to look like. We have exported in terms of movie. By seeing these, anybody can understand, okay, this is what it's all about. It allows me to do scheduling. It allows me to do So this helps also developer to understand how the transistor is happening, how the things is flowing. And yes, I was talking about native gestures. People have a lot of questions how you differentiate Android applications with iPhone application or iPad application. We use library in our prototyping to frameworking tool. And this is not coded. So we are doing one of the projects for one of our client, and actually this is just a prototype, but our tool allows us to put it as an application. So this is the icon you can see. There's an Endeavour icon, by the way. So my idea is to showcase here, as you said, if there is something, how we will control. So we define this is a text box. So when you say define text box, it allows you to write. So this kind of thing we do. Let's example flip. We don't have to tell them, in a documentation, this is a movie they can see and they can talk about. I was talking about, right? Let's example, if I am writing Mubarak, let's example, I am taking your neighbor's name, right? So yes, you can do it. You can do a password. So you have actual feeling, but there is no code in it, and they say login. So what happens? This is exactly a flow. You are done. It's showing you, how it will show. It will ask you, you want to any push notification, something. So we have some of the things as a library component in our library. Some of the things we develop. So you see and see. So we are saying this is how it scroll. What kind of intensity it should have. Even I'll write. We have only defined J as of now. So if I write anything, it will come as J. Let's example Avinash. Right? If I say search, see it will show only J, because this is what we define, right? That is what these tools allows us to control, as well as it allows us to collaboration. So if you go, if we can publish this and you can see it on your desktop also, and you can comment also. You can write comment also. You can view comment of other people also. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, you can look forward, for this demo probably after my presentation. So my idea is not about prototype. My idea is it's a co-creation. We work together, and that's how we are developing a solutions, and that is much better than what we have done. And this is what our learning so far, and that's what we are enjoying the big thing. And as a designer or as a design team, the most important thing, what we like is the creativity. We have a more time on creative aspect of it rather than, going back and forward, right? So that is all about. The point, the whole point is here, we have come up specifically a new methodology or new practices in last few years in a better way. And now it helps us to sort lot of challenges what we have come across from our lot of customers and end user and client and everybody, the multi-device and branding aspect of it, the co-collaboration, the usability aspect of it. I want to see first, it is be successful, because ultimately it's all about, satisfying the end user, and that is all about, right? So this is a real statistic I was talking about, this demonstration what I was talking about, it allows 100% live collaboration. We change it, we make a change, we do these things, and we just publish. And all the assigned people, it could be a reviewer, it could be a user, it could be a business executive or stakeholders, anybody, they can see it. They can write feedback right there and there, It allows us to reduce our time nowadays to 60 to 90% in terms of native gestures. Because now, over a period of time, we have developed something called component library, right? So we don't have to reinvent the wheel always, right? If we want to say, ki, I want to have this text field, or we have a control already, just drag it, done, right? So it is a significant amount of time we are reducing, you know. And then another thing, what we are most important thing is what I liked it all about is design is very, very subjective. Right? After going out from this presentation, might be some people say, oh, some of the graphics was good. Somebody will say, oh, I didn't like it, right? Because it's very, very subjective, right? So by seeing this, you can actually come up with a decision in terms of design aspect of it very fast. So it is almost reducing 70 to 90% time. And another most important thing, what as a developer always demand on assets. Because as Sri Ranjani was mentioning, in a real world, everything runs on the same parallel road. So Android people will come, iPad people will come, Windows people will come, and they ask all the time assets. Oh, I need this support, right? So design has a tough time. We have a movie, we have a prototype, and we have also our own scripts that we embed in Photoshop and other our tools what we use, and that allows us to do specification, that allows us to in one go, you can create assets, graphic assets. And that is very simple, you know. So when developer comes, so designer don't run here and there. Okay, what do you want? Okay, I'll give it to you. That is actually reducing a lot of time, 40 to 80% time. Think about multi-device. Don't think about just iPhone. Think about iPhone 3, iPhone 4, iPhone 4S, iPhone 5. It's a 4 device, right? If you start analyzing in terms of the things, this is way, way good, you know, so far. And this is what we have achieved so far, you know. And we are so happy to, you know, work around. And this is what finally, in last few couple of months, or you can say years, we are moving from, you know, that is all about. When I need something, you know, when I go to any shopping mall or retail, oh, I got it. Right? That is what it allows us. It allows you in terms to set a right expectations of usability. That is what AHA is about. And over a period of time, if you keep controlling, you can develop that brand. And that is Apple is all about. They brought that intuitive, they brought that gesture vision, everything. People are ready to pay extra $10 to get iPhone or something else, of Mac or Apple, because they have created over a period of time the loyalty. They are my, you can say left, right, you know, all hands on legs, whatever you want to say, right? And this, I'm not talking, they are not here, but I am representing them, and it's my privilege to talk about them, because they are the people who make my team a team. There are people who are, since last few months and years, they are putting their blood, or you can say their passion, into make everybody, you know, happy, you know, including my management, including end user, including our customer. And that is our gung-ho about. And yes, absolutely, and I'm proud of all of them. And I'll just end with one note, you know. I know a lot of people are a technological guy, you know, you understand more, and it's very easy to talk about, because very tangible aspect of it, right? You can measure, you can go and check it out, everything, right? But I truly believe from bottom of my heart, people carry experiences. People cherish joy moments. And that is the most important thing. And on top of this is what I want to say, mobile devices enables you to connect that, you know. So if we focus on that user experience part of it, we can turn around the table for sure. Thank you. It was nice talking to you. Thanks for listening.